Yo, it's MC Chill. This is another perspective video. If this video is kind of scattered on topics, it's because I have a lot to say. But let's begin. I'm going to talk about the Saturn return, which is said that every 28 years riots are caused by police brutality and systematic racism. And this has been since 1965. And then 28 years after that would be 1993. And then the year after that is supposed to be 2021, but what are we already experiencing at this point? The same agenda playing out a year early. So is this supposed to symbolize or show us what is to come for the future, or give us a chance to try and heal an aspect of something that has already been happening so that we don't repeat the same cycle? Because when Saturn orbits the sun every 28 years, it is the planet of dominance and power, civilization, and social order. It also represents karmic lessons. So, is this supposed to be an aspect that is called forth to show us to heal itself, or to have it be healed naturally by the people? Is it giving us a chance to let others find out if we're going to stand united in it or be divided? I have a feeling that the Floyd incident might have just been a huge psyop, and that the man might not even be passed away. He it might have been an actual sacrifice, skull and bones Illuminati thing. There's gematria codes that line up with that story, but there's a lot of loopholes in the story, like why were there 4 officers laying on the back of him when the paramedics came? Aren't paramedics supposed to pick him up and put him in the thing? How come he was taken by police officers and put in the thing? They didn't even try reviving him, doing the clear method or whatever. There's loopholes in this story. And also at the funeral, they just seen some casket that was small and golded. Probably a gold casket that Soros bought for him, and it looked small. That dude was big, he's 6'6", I think. And that casket did not look like it was 6'6". It looked pretty small. So there's loopholes in the story, And also regarding the riots, I just wanted to let anybody know, if they're participating in that, to be mindful of what you're saying, because words are spells, energy, vibration, and I see a black mass ritual of black magic by people saying that they can't breathe. That doesn't seem wise to me, because why would you go into a field like that and say energy of that you can't breathe with a big crowd and a momentum of hatred and fear and anger for a story that might have not potentially taken place, And by saying things like that, you should actually be saying we can breathe, because what people don't understand that they're doing is that is a huge black magic ritual, and that may potentially cost the lives of others. So you guys need to be aware of that and be sensitive towards other sentient beings on Earth too, because people are just not aware of the vibration that they're giving out. Also, according to Black Law's dictionary, black means pale. So by people out there saying Black Lives Matter at protests that turn into riots that are funded by Soros, are they actually participating in saying Pale Lives Matter? Who knows? Before you guys come at me with some bull about the dictionary, it is actually the most cited law book used in all of the world, and it even goes to say that legal fiction is in an imaginary world, and that the definition of a person is always an artificial legal person of one kind or another, legally generated. It even goes as far to say that there's different descriptions of a type of persons, but you could look this up on Living in the Private via Google. I will also note that there's more than 10 copies of this book. As far as this dickhead here, known as Chauvin. He's just a Freemason puppet and a crisis actor, paid operative. He was also involved in the Boston bombings and the Sandy Hook shootings. His real name is Benjamin. I know I'm not the only one who can see past these things and perceive things in a different perspective, but the insanity needs to stop, because rioting against police, police against people, people against authorities is just like two pawns fighting against each other instead of turning around and realizing who the controllers are, you know? This world has been ruled by subterranean humans or subhumans, maybe also intraterrestrials disguised as humans. And why are people falling for such a thing? You understand what I mean? Like, people are fighting themselves and each other, causing chaos in the streets. But what about those ICE facilities, man? What about children trapped in cages, all because of immigration things? Who set those up? Probably subhumans, probably people who have the least amount of respect for sentient beings and humans on Earth. There's other things going on, but people want to be focused on mainstream narratives, which is an agenda that helps push and spread disinformation and fear to the public and masses, which then gives out a sort of energy, you know, when people walk through certain spaces and things. Take those masks off. Like Future said, fuck it, mask off. People need to breathe fresh air. Does mask not sound like Mark? Are these the masks of the beast? I hope that with the next solar flare or solar flash that comes in, those ICE facilities are one step closer to being taken down by benevolent beings and forces of light, because that is inhumane. And those people need to be sent back home or let out to live normally and freely. People want to defund the police. Are you guys ready to govern yourselves and live by free will and sovereign law? If by defunding the police, say, that caused a militant police to come in, or drones to start flying over and spying on people, I'm predicting that a Marshall situation would cause a geomagnetic storm, which would cause their agenda to be slowed down and not be pushed as fast. And because of the living souls that do not want things like that. Regarding the riots, I just wanted to say, what is the definition of insanity? It is repeating the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And as I spoke earlier about the Saturn return, we need to break the cycle and heal this in order for Earth to change, because if we didn't, it would just be the same thing over in 28 years again. Will we be assisted in the process of this shift? I think so, because I've heard a theory about that when UFOs hover above certain land masses, that people who are at a lower vibration may tend to become violent and disruptive, while others of a higher frequency may start dancing. And what's going on right now, there's people out there being violent and dancing on cars. So this may be a sign that we are already being assisted. That's one reason that they spray chemtrails in the sky, because these light ships or benevolent beings actually send light codes to us to help us gain information and process things. However, on those days where we have chemtrails, there may be that specific light ship hidden in the clouds that is trying to send forth information and light energy, and they try and block out those codes so that people don't learn. But very soon it'll be hard for them to even spray those in the sky. That's all I had to say for this video. This is MC Chill. Y'all stay up, stay bliss, keep that energy high. Peace.